Okay, I've prepared this presentation to get you ready for the Chapter 11 test. The Chapter 11 test, I think, is very straightforward and fairly simple. There's a lot of readings on it. You read or you listen to something, and then there's short responses, again, based on the vocabulary that we've learned concerning the house and home. Um, then there are some grammar questions, and there's one grammar question on commands and using commands, both affirmative and negative commands, uh, and using them even with pronouns. Okay, like tell me, right? Um, you give somebody a command with an object, tell me or tell them. So these are commands with objects. Now, when we give a command in Spanish, or first of all in English, when we give a command, it's you tell me, or do it, you do it. There's only one you in English. In Spanish, we have multiple yous. And so I'm just taking time to refresh this concept. So when you give a command in Spanish, which you are you going to use? In English, you don't have to worry about it. There's just one you. But in Spanish, we have two, the the familiar you that you use with friends and family. Usted, formal singular you, we use with somebody like a sales clerk, someone that we don't know, that we haven't met before. Okay, could be a friend of a family member. We don't particularly know them. And then finally, there's the plural you. Sometimes we might be addressing more than one individual. You must be aware of this. And then when we give a command, we can give an affirmative command, do this, tell me. Or we could say, we can give a negative command, don't tell me, don't do this. In Spanish, this is going to affect the way that you present your command. Now, here is a sample question. You're going to have something like this on your exam, and I want you to be aware of this. You're going to be given a situation where you're going to have to fill in the blank with the correct command form of the verb given. And you're also going to have to introduce an object pronoun, and they're going to tell you which object pronoun to use. So in this particular case, let's take a look. They want you to fill in the blank with the correct command form of the verb hablar. So in this particular case, we want to use the verb hablar, and we should know how to form its command forms. And it wants you to use also the object pronoun me. So hablar me, tell me is the idea. You're going to be telling somebody or various individuals, tell me something or don't tell me something. So you have to read the question, see if you're going to use the tu, usted, or ustedes form, and then fill in the blank with the correct command and object pronoun. Let's take a look. Tú quieres saber de la familia de tu amigo. You want to know about what? The family of your friend or your friend's family. Now be careful here after the comma. This is where you're going to give the command. So it says le dices. What does le dices mean? Well, you tell him or her, the friend, tú le dices. Now you want to put the command form in. Tell me about your family. So how are you going to tell your friend to tell me, speak to me about your family? How are you going to say that? Speak to me, tell me. You've got to take the verb hablar and you're going to use with a friend the to form. So what's the to form of the verb hablar? What's the to command form of the verb hablar? You should know this. That's the main thing. And then we also have to use the object pronoun me. So how are you going to tell somebody, tell me or speak to me about your family? We've got to conjugate that verb hablar or put it in the to command form. So the to command form will be habla. So Háblame. Tell me. Notice the object pronoun is attached when you write it to the end of the verb. It's all one word now. It's all one word when you have an affirmative command. And also look, the first A should have had an accent mark on it. I forgot to include that, just so you know. Let's look at number 2. Unos amigos estaban de vacaciones. So we read the sentence to get our context. Some friends were on vacation. Now it says what? Les dices. What does les dices mean? Tú les dices. You tell them. So now you're giving a plural command, right? An ustedes command. Tell me about your vacation. In Spanish, vacation is always plural. Las vacaciones. Okay, so tell me about your vacation. So what is the command form, the plural usted or the ustedes command form for hablar? Hablen. Hablen. Okay, so now so it's háblenme. Tell me about your vacation. Let's look at the next one. No te gusta la guerra. You don't like war. Okay. Now, un hombre quiere hablar de Ucrania. So a guy comes up, some man, you don't know him, a man wants to speak about or talk about Ukraine, the Ukraine. Okay, now obviously you're not going to want to talk about the Ukraine. You're not going to want to talk about the war. You don't like war. So you're going to give a negative command. So tú le dices. Now how do we give the negative command form? First of all, what's the command form for hablar? For usted, it would be hable. Okay, but you're going to say don't speak to me. So how do we do that? No me hable. When we give a negative command, remember, when we give a negative command, we put the object pronoun before the command. And we start off with a no. No me hable. Just remember that for a negative command, okay? All right. And had this been the to form, we would not use to with this particular gentleman. We don't know who he is. We're going to use the usted form. But had it been a friend or family member, then it would have been what? No me hables. Es ending. So you should be familiar how to form both affirmative and negative commands. All right. And on the last one, tu hermano fue al cine. Your brother went to the movies, or to the cinema, went to the movies. Now, tú le dices, you tell your brother, you tell him what? Talk to me about the movie, right? Película means movie. So you're going to use the to form. What's the to form of hablar? It's going to be habla. So, háblame de la película. Okay, it's exactly the same as the answer in number 1, and this time I properly included the accent mark over the first A. So you're going to have a question similar to this. So the question could be a little confusing, but the concepts, if you understand them, this is fairly straightforward and easy. So best of luck on this particular question on chapter 11.